Welcome back to the Halloween Tea Party, guys, where I'm attempting to do 31 tutorials for the 31 days of October. Today's look is a vampire kind of look, and I don't have any fangs, which is kind of ruining the effect, but just pretend they're there. There's two different lips that go with this look because I couldn't settle on just one, so they are both in the tutorial. If you saw them in the thumbnail and you're like, hey, where's the dead lip thing? Don't worry, it's in here. There was something else important that I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was, so maybe I'll put an annotation if I ever remember. If you're new here, this is my jump menu, so if there's any parts of the tutorial you want to skip or you want to jump to, then you can just click on the titles and you will be whisked off to that part of the video. I'm starting out with the green color corrector because vampires do not have a lot of redness in their faces. And I'm applying that with my finger to any red patches I have on my face and just blending it out a bit. And I'm also applying it in a very, very thin layer over my cheeks because I have quite pink cheeks and vampires do not have pink cheeks. If you have a green primer or something like that, you could use that instead of a color corrector on your cheeks to get rid of that redness. Then I'm going in with a light coverage, cool toned Ivory foundation. This foundation does pretty much match my skin. I'm already quite pale, so it's hard to pale up further than I already am using just makeup. But if you have a darker skin color than me, then you could just use a foundation that's a couple of shades lighter than your own skin tone. When you do that, it is best to stick to your same undertone or to go for a cool undertone because that will help make you look a bit more ashy and dead. And if you're just going a couple of shades lighter, then light coverage is good for this because it, again, helps that ashy dead feeling. If you don't have light coverage, then you can mix some moisturizer in with your foundation to just give it that light coverage. But if you're trying to go a lot of shades lighter than your natural skin tone, then you might want to use a heavy coverage foundation. I'm bringing that foundation down past my jawline and a bit onto my neck just so that it looks a bit more seamless. Then I'm taking a matching face powder and just applying that all over my face to set the foundation. I'm using a cool toned grey eyeshadow for my contour. And I'm using a contour brush, and when I lay down my contour, I like to squeeze the bristles of my brush while I get that kind of initial line down. And then let go of the bristles while I blend out the product. And I'm pulling this ridiculous face so that I can really see where the hollows of my cheeks are. Because this kind of vampire is a bit, starved vampire looking, so I really want to hollow out the cheeks. I would not use this for like regular day-to-day contouring. To help with that effect, instead of stopping my contour where I normally would, I'm bringing my contour downwards towards the bottom of my face, towards my jawline. And then I'm blending it out really well because we don't want this to look like a stripe on our faces, we want it to look like a shadow. If you find that you've gone a bit strong on your contour and it's hard to blend out, then you can take some of the face powder on your blending brush and use that to help you blend out the contour. For the contour around my temple, I'm switching over to a smaller fluffy brush because I want to be able to put it down really precisely. And once I've got that main contour line down, I'm going back and blending out the product so that there's no harsh lines. For the eyes, I'm starting out with a coloured primer just to get rid of a bit of the discoloration that I have on my eyes. And I'm blending it out with my finger because you really don't need that much primer for this look. I didn't have quite the right red that I wanted. I wanted a kind of aged blood kind of red. So I'm mixing together a red and a purple to kind of get the colour I was going for. If any of you know of a really good aged blood coloured eyeshadow, please let me know in the comments so I don't have to go and do swatch hand in the local makeup shop. I'm using a fluffy brush to apply the eyeshadow because I don't want a super opaque coverage with this. I want it to be a little bit messy. Once the colour's intense enough, I'm going in with that same fluffy brush and just blending all around it, and I'm going for quite a big blend. Because like I say, this is a messy eye look. Then I'm taking a black eyeshadow and a pencil brush and I'm doing a little bit of an eye contour just to make the eyes look a little bit more deep set. So I'm sticking it in my crease and just above my crease and in the outer corner of my lid, and then I'm just blending it out really well. We can't leave the bottom lash line all naked like this, so I'm going in with the same red and purple combination and the fluffy brush and applying that to my lower lash line, and I'm blending it out really far and dragging it out a little bit down my face. Then I'm going in with the black and keeping that much tighter to my waterline. And then I'm taking a black gel liner and going along my lash line, and I'm not doing any crazy liner with this, it's just literally a very thin line so that when I stick my lashes on, you can't see the lash band. I'm using a black Kohl liner to line my waterline and my lower lash line. And then I'm blending out the lower lash line just to really kind of darken things up and add a bit of drama. And seeing as everything else has liner on it, I went ahead and tightlined my eyes as well because it was feeling a bit left out. Even though I'm going to be wearing falsies, I went ahead and added some mascara to my top and bottom lashes. And added some lashes. These are quite natural looking lashes. Feel free to go crazy and have some super dramatic lashes, but I was just feeling the natural lashes today. And you know, by natural lashes, I mean fake lashes that I've glued onto my face. For all of the little liney things that are coming off of the eyes, I'm using a detail brush and I'm dipping it in some water and then drying it off on a kitchen towel so that it's just a little bit damp. You don't want it to be too wet, but when you use a damp brush with your eyeshadow, it just makes it a bit more intense. You could use a liner for this instead, but I find with a damp brush and an eyeshadow, you get that really nice trailing off effect. Also, I find that liners can be a little bit too smudgy for this kind of thing. It's hard to get really nice, crisp lines. So I'm just doing lots and lots of lines and I'm making them come from the bottom of my line where we blended the black. And I'm just doing some wiggly lines, some straight lines, and they're just all very thin, and I'm letting them trail off towards the bottom of my cheeks. And I'm using the same colours that I've used in the eye look, so I'm using the same red and purple mix and some of the black. And basically you just want to keep adding lines until it's as liney as you want it to be. For the lips, I'm using a beige liquid lipstick, and you could use a concealer for this, but basically I'm just trying to get rid of any of the pigment in my lips. This lipstick isn't quite light enough to match my skin tone, but it's the closest thing I've got. To just lighten it up a little bit more, I'm powdering it with my face powder. For the lips, I'm using a red liquid to matte lipstick, and these are great for this kind of thing because it's going to dry and set. So I'm not going to end up in an hour's time looking like I tried to do some weird beige to red ombre lip. I'm using a clean detail brush and I'm kind of doing kissy face so that I can see where the lines on my lips are, and then I'm drawing over those lines with the liquid lipstick. There weren't quite enough lines for my liking, so I went in and just added some more that don't really exist but exist for the sake of this. Then, just to make things look a little bit more like bloody, I guess, I went in the center of my lips and just kind of dabbed the liquid lipstick in there, and only right on the very center, so you almost can't see it when my lips are closed. I do think that this would look better if you had a darker shade of red, like a more browny red maybe, but I didn't have one, so I stuck with the bright red. Because I'm indecisive, there is a second lip look as well. So I cleaned that first lip look off my face, obviously, so that we have a nice blank canvas to work with. And I'm starting out with a black liner and lining my lips, and I'm lining them with quite a thick line because we're going to blend this into the rest of the lipstick. Then I'm taking that same liquid to matte lipstick that we just used, the nice red one, and I'm applying that on my lips, and you have to be kind of quick-ish doing this because you don't want it to dry before you've blended the black into it. Basically, I'm doing an ombre in the most inconvenient way possible. I mean, it's not really an ombre exactly. I'm using a darker liner and I want that to be blended in. I don't want it to kind of stand out in the 90s way of I'm using a dark liner and a lighter lipstick. As usual, when you're trying to do your lipstick really fast, I made a bit of a mess. So I'm just waiting for the lipstick to completely dry, and then I'm going in with concealer on a tiny brush and just cleaning up the edges, and then I'm blending it out so that you can't see that that's what I've done. And then I'm doing the exact same thing that I did to the eyes, but just doing it off of the bottom lip instead. So I'm using a tiny detail brush, getting it damp, and then using a mix of the red and the purple shade to do some of the lines, and then a black shade to do the rest of the lines. And around the corners of the mouth, I am kind of coming out slightly at an angle, but you don't really want to go too far with that angle or things can start to look a little bit crazy. So that's it, guys. You are now a creepy vampire. There will be another video going up tomorrow, so if you want to be notified when that's live, then you can click on the subscribe button. And if you like this look in this video, you can let me know by hitting the like button. If you have any questions or comments or anything, let me know in the comment section and I will do my best to reply to you. If you decide to recreate this look, I would love to see how it comes out. If you post it to social media and tag me in the post and use the hashtag Halloween Tea Party, and then I will see it. I'm also having a little competition over on my Instagram, so if you want to be in with a chance of winning some goodies, head over there and all of the details are on my profile on Instagram. I will also leave links and stuff in the description box below to make it easier for you, along with all the products that I've used today. If this look isn't quite what you were looking for, here are some other videos that might be a bit more your style. If you're wearing this out for Halloween or for any other occasion, then I hope you have an absolutely amazing time and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys!